Welcome to Leaders Talks. I am Mandy Ndaba, founder of LeadAvant AI. On this series, I speak with leaders who are building, leading, and solving real problems in business. Today, we have Danny Rosenthal, Director of Community and Partnerships at Enginehire. Danny stood out to me because community and partnerships are becoming more important than ever, especially in a space where in staffing where trust, relationships, and reputation matter so much. Enginehire is building an all-in-one platform for staffing agencies, helping them manage recruiting, onboarding, scheduling, billing, payroll, marketing, and client lead generation in one place. So what I find especially interesting is that Enginehire is not just helping agencies use more software, it is helping them simplify how they operate, communicate, and grow. So Danny, I'm excited to learn more about your journey, the work you're doing with community and partnerships, and how you see the future of staffing changing.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
my role came from me actually using Enginehire as a staffing agency for childcare. And I thought that the software was so, to me, revolutionary that that I wanted to be part of that and grow that system. I am really fortunate to sit in a position where I get to talk to clients and work with our team to develop what they need and make sure everybody's using it, understanding what they're looking for, and really guiding the way that the industry moves based on what they're saying. We get this really amazing bird's eye view of what people are asking for, and we get to see like where everything's going and kind of get ahead of that and help all of the people in the industries that we work in. It's great.
So for someone hearing about engine hire for the first time, how would you explain what you help staffing agencies do?
Yeah, Enginehire is a CRM, so client management system, relationships, and an ATS, so applicant tracking system. So it keeps track of your clients on one side, your candidates on the other side. And then in between all of that is all of the matching, the marketing, the payment processing, payroll, all of the things. And scheduling is a really core piece of that. So it's once you have the clients and the candidates and the scheduling, then everything else is to keep you from making errors by using other tools. You can use other tools, but we've pretty much cracked the code on most things. And just making sure that it's simple and easy to use for our clients is key.
Mhm. So, as a director of community and partnerships, how do you think about building trust with staffing agency owners?
Yeah, you have to make sure that what you're putting out there is things that they need and works reliably. And then the most key part of all of it is making sure that everybody knows that there's an open communication to reach out when something's not going well. With Enginehire, we're working with owners, CEOs, presidents of their companies. So we're in this together. It's not like this is a system far down and out of reach. We're part of the team in a lot of ways. Sometimes our clients think we're much more of part of their team than we ever could be. Um, but yeah, we're in it. So the trust just comes from being a good listener, I think.
One thing that stood out to me is that Engine Hire brings so many parts of staffing business into one place. So the recruiting, onboarding, scheduling, as you just said, billing, payroll, marketing, and client lead generation. Why is having everything connected? is so important for
Yeah.
staffing.
No, that's a really great question. I mean, like, there's all of these magnificent tools out there, and then why does Enginehire have to do as many as we can? And really, it comes down to when it's all connected, it becomes a really strong brain for your entire operations. And so there's less errors because it's all happening in one place. So just those basic errors of, some stuff happening in one system and you needing to pull just a little bit of the data and put it into another system, that's where errors occur. And then it all being together, thing, um, one thing can trigger thousands of other events. So once a client is onboarded and they're live and they can use whatever you need as an agency owner of them to use, that could set a reminder in place. It could send out an email. It could send out a text message. It could release a document. It could then have a document, like kind of all goes together in this really beautiful way to keep agencies as hands on or as hands off as they like. Everything keeps you going through and just being a really good owner of your own business as easy, efficiently as possible.
Enginehire talks about AI staffing agents as a new communications, scheduling, and marketing team member. Where do you think AI can make the bigger difference for staffing agencies right now?
The number one thing, glad you asked this, it hit AI is everywhere. It's doing so many things. I use it way more than I probably should even have access to, right? The number one place that I see the biggest opportunity for any business is a voice agent, which I would have thought is crazy, but it's so helpful because a lot of what happens is people will send out an email or a text message or things like that to communicate, which is great. But those are all just notifications. And I say just notifications because like we've been using them and everybody is so attuned with making sure the copy is great in all of those pieces. But a voice agent can call someone, or not even just a voice agent. You could have like a text message agent where it intelligently connects with people. So instead of a notification, it becomes a conversation. So we used to do it where a job might be an opportunity for a candidate and they could get it and they could read that, they could click a link and they could see more about the job. But now they could do all of that and then they could text it back and say, I'm actually looking for a job that can pay me X per hour. Is that available? And it can say, I'm looking through jobs that are available, and in your area tomorrow at this time, there's a job that fits that. Is that something you're interested in? Like it can do this complex thing that you needed to have someone there to do, or it just wasn't going to happen. Same thing with like a voice agent. It could call them and say, hey, this opportunity came up. Are you interested in it? And they could say, maybe, or they could say no, or they could say, I would love to do it, but I'm unavailable at this time. Can we do it at this time instead? And the agent might actually know the information to go, yeah, let me actually check. Or it could go, we'll call back if that seems like that's available. Like there's all of these little things that you would need to have someone in place to do that wasn't available before. And when we're talking about, I mean, we boil it down, it's all about cost and ease and errors and efficiency, and I think it's super efficient. It's it's really cost effective. If you're really thinking about trying to get people down that pipeline of entering your business to being sold, and however that is, whatever service or product you're using or trying to sell, like a voice agent or just these agents that can communicate are really the next level of that can help at every business. I can't see a business where that couldn't be helpful to even think about.
Yeah.
And I will say, just like on top of that, what's really cool is you can use those tools surgically. So it's not like you're replacing all of your emails. So maybe you send out 5,000 emails a day. I don't know, right? Maybe. Instead of like that AI bill now being ginormous because you're replacing it all, maybe you send out 5,000 emails and you send out 50 voice agents to call the perfect people for this, so you get to do these really creative things to make sure that your agency or your business is working at maximum.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can you share an example of a staffing agency that Enginehire helped in a meaningful way? What they were struggling with and what did they get out of it?
Yeah. I actually like to think of this stuff more as instead of them struggling, more like what they were doing and what they are now able to do. So there's a few agencies that worked with us. They actually, one that I'm thinking about in my mind, hadn't built their own entire software to do everything that Engine Hire does. But it wasn't working. There's kind of like a lot of complex issues when you do that because now you actually have to worry about like, what are you spending development money on? And that can get really expensive really fast. And it's really great when you use a tool that everybody else is chipping in a little bit to get a lot. But this agency in particular, they were doing fine. They needed something that was all that they could rely on. Engine Hire provides that. But then they were able to step back even further and start franchising their business. So now they have this other crazy level of income by taking what they were doing, they were owning, and they were part of the process every day. And they're able to hand that off to someone else and be like, we put all of this work into it. Now you have this opportunity. There's another agency that's doing the same I mean, like, the franchise stuff, it gets crazy, but it's the magnitude of growth where they get to go from, "I was doing this, and I wanted to do that better," and then they get to push it all the way to, "I'm doing this, I wanted to do that better, and now I can help other people do that and help their communities," and all of those things, and that's really gratifying. There's, of course, like, all of the ways that you would think where it's like, "Okay, it's streamlined the communication, we've automated that." But in the larger ways, I really love thinking about how we've been able to help companies just hit this other level that they had no idea that they would aspire to even. It was never on their roadmap, and they've been able to grow there. It's crazy.
From your perspective, what is one of the biggest things holding staffing agencies back from growth today?
Yeah. Well, there's kind of a lot of things. I think a lot of it is seeing the forest through the trees. I would say the number one thing that I think holds anyone back in any business is assuming you know everything that your clients need.
Yes, I like to say that. I love.
Yeah, because you are assuming all of this stuff. You're trying to build it as perfectly as possible. And what I personally think you should be doing is you do that. And then instead of going all the way full in on what you think they need, you start giving it a try and you start hearing back where they need help and you start iterating on that. So instead of coming up with a product and building it at 100%, you build a product to percent, 70 maybe, and you see what you can do with that. And you let it grow then organically through those ways. I'm not talking about like having a part of your product unthought about. But I'm saying people would be really surprised to see where their companies start and what it pivots into based on their clients' actual needs. And they're going, because there's so many people. But I mean, I think we think about that ourselves of like you call up a company and you're like, I see that you do this. I need something similar to that. Can you help me with that? And that's when you start getting so many of those calls, that's when you go, "Oh, I need to tell people that I actually do this other thing now too." Or maybe instead, all of that. So I think it's just seeing the forest through the trees.
Mm. How does Engine Hire usually get in front of more staffing agencies that need this kind of platform?
Yeah.
Is it is it referrals, reviews, demo, partnerships? What is it?
It's everything. It's being in the community. So maybe that doesn't mean, I'm going out and I'm knocking on doors. What it usually means is we're joining associations, reaching out to people in those industries, seeing if this is something that they'd be interested in, hearing what they're actually looking for, having really great open conversations. It can take you so far. So we just try to be there as a resource, not just for our users, but we do a lot of webinars and we have a podcast and we do all of those things to make sure that we're in it and that even if you're not using our services, because we're not for everyone, that you still find us as a pillar in the community. Maybe you're getting great resources from us. And maybe eventually that leads to you needing our service, but maybe not. And it's great to be involved. Again, it's so easy to stand back and just keep building something, but that the only way that we still exist is because we're always iterating and innovating and bringing all of that down to next our clients, making sure that it's stuff that they need and want and can use and just always making everything better. If we stayed in our ivory tower, we would be we would not exist anymore, for sure. Like, so easily, we would not exist. I've seen it happen with other companies that try to be what we're doing, and the only reason that we're still here is because we keep our fingers on the pulse and just try to keep making it better for all of the industries that we work with. We're just in it with them.
I am sorry, there's an alarm.
Oh, what's
There's an alarm. It's oh.
I don't even hear anything.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry that's annoying for you, though.
No, I don't not interrupt, but let me see if you can hear if I ask a question.
I don't hear any of it.
Okay, we can keep going then. So, when you think about the future of staffing agencies, where do you see things heading, especially now with AI?
Yeah, I think people are more and more trying to figure out solutions that bring everything together. So that's where we are spending actually a lot of our time in bridging those other tools that you have. Maybe you don't even really think that you're using Enginehire anymore, but Enginehire then becomes the brain for your operation. So if you're using this referral service over here and you're using this payroll over there, and you're using maybe there's like X, Y, and Z tools that are very nuanced and particular, and no one would ever put them in an all in one solution. We have this really unique ability to, without using APIs or any development on anyone's end, we have this ability to go in and take all of that information, compile it, and give your business a source of truth in wherever you need it. So a lot of people are starting to use Engine Hire without ever actually logging into Engine Hire. It's just pulling all of these pieces and putting it into their CRM sometimes or into this other tool. We're like on the precipice of like this really cool thing that we see the need for and people are starting to latch on, and it's pretty exciting actually.
So, Danny, for a staffing agency owner who is overwhelmed by manual work, too many tools, and constant communication, what advice would you give to them?
Ooh, I would start thinking about what is the biggest problem in your day and how do you solve that? When we're working with clients in any capacity, a lot of times we start with solving one problem for them. So some people totally are like, I need this. This will help my entire company. And they use every tool right away. Sometimes we hit those things where people go, I know you do this, but what I actually need is something like that. And oftentimes we go, okay, let's talk about this. And we kind of talk it through and we hear about 5 or 10 problems that they're having. And if we think we can solve them, we go, okay, let's start with one of these. And so let's see if we can tackle that. And I think that's the same advice that I would give on the other side. If you're having problems with something. It's like, what is that one thing? And start coming up with the solution to that. Maybe reach out to your friends and family. I don't know. Like, there's a lot out there. I know my wife would never talk to me about business stuff. I do, but she's like, okay, great. Let's talk about other things. But it really is like, what is the one problem? And just try to solve that one thing first. And I wouldn't spend your whole day trying to solve it either. Just try to spend a little bit of it solving it. Give yourself your best time. That's one of those things that I heard a long time ago about like I block off my Friday generally to like do deeper work. I still meet with people sometimes, but I try not to. I try to like give myself that day to like really work on things. Um, and so I try to think of it as like giving my best time to me so I can help everybody much better. I'll also say this just so I don't sound completely crazy, but maybe this actually makes it sound worse. But I always try to make sure that like my worst day is better than other people's best. I know that sounds like the cockiest thing in the world, but I do try to like put that out there. It's like when you're like talking about like being, uh, kind to the people that you are like with all like give your best self to like your loved ones. It's like, oh, I really try to do that everywhere. It's like, let me give my best self to like all of the people around me, like first. I know now all of that sounds crazy, but
What is
hey,
that's the right attitude to have in everyday life.
yeah,
Really,
it,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. I like that. I do that to give out like the best in the world because it comes back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Danny, before we wrap this conversation, where can people learn more about Enginehire or connect with your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So enginehire.io will lead you straight to our website. From there, you can click on all sorts of things and just learn about us. Easy peasy. I'm the type of person where if in the first few seconds this seems like something that might be helpful to me, I kind of stop reading and I just try to book time with someone to like actually walk me through it and answer my questions. So if you're anything like me and you're listening, I would go to our website if this is sounds interesting at all, and then I would see if that makes sense, and then I would just try to book a time to talk to our team, get the real one-on-one experience of like, getting your questions actually answered and talk it through, versus spending hours reading a site and seeing if maybe you want to do that. Just jump and take the phone call, video call, way faster.
That's the best way, actually, to even understand what a business does.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it works both ways. It's great for us and hope, and I think it's great for our clients as well.
Absolutely. Danny, this has been a really valuable conversation. What I appreciate is that Engineering Hire is not just helping staffing agencies use software, you're helping them simplify how they operate, communicate, manage people, and grow. I also appreciate your perspective on community and partnerships because in staffing, trust is such a big part of growth. Thank you again for joining me on Leaders Talks.
Thank you
Still,
for that.
absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, have a great rest of your day.
You too, Danny. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.